The top five news. Joe Pelayo here. Welcome to the top five news, where we cut through the mainstream spin and deliver the stories that matter to you. It's September 23rd. It's a packed lineup tonight with triumphs and takedowns, wake-up calls from global showdowns, cultural milestones, and all. And let's dive right into it with our first story. Trump at the UN, fireworks. President Trump with a fiery takedown of the United Nations on his home court in New York City. He marched in to the United Nations and gave the global elites the reality check that they've been dodging for years. He slammed the UN's bureaucratic failures and weak European allies for undermining American sovereignty, boasting rightly about our $17 trillion economic boom under his watch, which dwarfs our GDP. He called out their empty words in no uncertain terms. America ended 7 wars single-handedly in his first term, he said. Did you know President Trump was the first president in 40 years not to get us in a new war in his previous term, I mean. And he called out their empty words. He discussed the Nobel Peace Prize that he feels he deserves. He rejected the climate hoax in its entirety. He rejected the open border nonsense. He stood tall for American first. He just took control. Had a tech glitch on the teleprompter, which he handled like a boss. He said, I think somebody here is going to be in big trouble for that. And there was a quiet pause in the room, a long pause. And there was a faulty teleprompter. And he said, well, it's okay. I'm just going to speak from the heart. He spoke for 1 hour. I don't know if the teleprompter ever kicked back in or not. But wow, what a powerful speech if you get a chance to see it. And man, took control. Supporters are calling it an epic presentation of all time. Skeptics laughing and having to recycle old jokes to cope. Trump backed Israel, hammered Russia, prompted walkouts from the usual suspects, and basically told Brazil to get their act together, but that he liked the man, that he had given him a nice hug. He saw him coming in, he hugged him, but he said, can you believe I'm going to be presenting this in a minute about you? Somebody that I know that really is an anti-Donald Trump person said one positive thing about him. Finally, they said, you know what they said? They said, I like that he gets things done. And isn't that the leadership you're looking for, America? Talk it up in the comments and let me know what you think. Shifting gears to number 2, the Jimmy Kimmel Show gets yanked. And after a week of suspension for his vile comments on the Charlie Kirk assassination, Kimmel slinks back into the ABC offices tonight. Sinclair and Netstar, the affiliates reaching 100 million homes, aren't buying it. They're still preempting his bias rants for real news, thanks to Trump and his admin's warnings. Conservative outrage over Hollywood's double standard. Disney lifted the suspension, but these networks demand an apology to the Kirk family first. Jon Stewart's mocking it, and that's just the late night swamp circling the wagons, he said. Free speech advocates up in arms. Continued debate. Story 3, BTS breaks Spotify records. Maybe bringing some good economic news too. Do we have booming music sales if the economy is not booming? I think it's a good minor indicator. The global sensation K-pop powerhouse BTS. Truthfully, I never heard of them. Have you? But you need to know, right? So this is a part of culture. And your folks didn't know who the Beatles or Elvis was. So there you go. So be hip. BTS smashes all Spotify streaming records of all time. 45 billion streams, crowning them the most streamed group ever and the first Asian act to own the chart. From leading hits like Jimin, Who, and at 2 billion, and it's pure talent and hustle paying off for them since 2013. Fans are exploding, hailing them as history makers and industry kings. Corb clocked 44.97 billion yesterday. Good job, guys. Billboard says no one's touched their impact this century. Next story. A parent's nightmare turned truth bomb, or is it? The White House, led by Donald Trump and RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz, exposing the Tylenol autism link, forcing FDA warnings despite pharma's pushback, citing 27 studies of prenatal spikes versus 13 denials. Trump warns against pumping stuff into babies, linking, quote unquote, linking it to vaccine overreach. Autism rose with the shots, not Tylenol's 1950s start. WHO and EMA cry a foul. But a Swedish mega study shows 2.5 million kids show no ties. Skeptics say it's a Gutherlane drain worsens vax risks. Parents vindicated, science spin, misinformation, shares rebound. But trust the science. 81 shots. Protect your kids, folks. Question everything. Talk it up in the comments if you agree or disagree with me. I'm okay either way. Just sharing what I'm finding. Story 5 today, AI takes over tech jobs. Rounding out the Google bombshell report reveals 90% of tech workers are now slaving to the AI for coding and grunt work. A Silicon Valley power grab that's automating Americans out of jobs. It boosts productivity, but flags massive displacement and skill gaps. AI rolls down 31%. The director admits we need data center overhauls for years out. Software firms lead the charge. Wake up tech, progress. Your livelihood's dependent on it. That 90% number sure made me feel good because I read another number that 34% of people were using AI, and I was banging the drum saying, hey, you got to embrace AI. You really have to right now. Take an AI class. And somebody said, well, Joe, why would I take an AI class? Nobody's an expert in AI yet. It's so new. Well, all I can tell you is when I took a class on the World Wide Web, when it was brand new, I was the leading guy in all my groups. I was the smartest man in my office. I was the smartest man in my family, every circle I was in. I knew more about the World Wide Web than anybody. And I encourage you to do the same thing with AI. One class, you can be among the elites in your groups. Look into it. Now for today's encouraging word. The cynic looks high and low for wisdom, never finds any, but the open-minded find it right there on their doorstep. I'm Joe Pelayo. That's your top 5 news roundup for today, September 23rd, 2025, an unfiltered, unapologetic, all-American approach to the news. Stay vigilant, seek the truth. Tune in tomorrow. I'm Joe Pelayo. Good night. God bless America.